I went from selling on a market stall to hitting millions of dollars in sales with my very own e-commerce brand. Just like many store owners, one of my biggest restrictions for growth was actually buying more inventory. Now, in order to buy more inventory, I needed a form of marketing that had a high ROI, meaning a return on investment, that I could put a little bit of money in and get a lot back. It had low financial risk, so I didn't have to spend loads of money on paid advertising, and had a high impact on my sales. Now, luckily for me, I realized that email marketing was the type of marketing that would fit all of these, and that's when I started going all in. And when I started focusing on email, I really built the foundation, the entire foundation to my e-commerce business from email marketing, because it meant that I was highly profitable in the beginning. And because it was such a large percentage of my sales that cost such little amount of money, I was able to sell in a much more profitable manner and really build out the foundations to scale even further. With that being said, do not get me wrong, I had a lot of expensive mistakes, especially in email marketing. Now, the good thing with email is, if you make a mistake, you're not exactly losing money, you're just losing missed revenue. But to me, that feels the exact same, right? It really does. So look, in this video, I'm gonna go over the most common mistakes and the biggest mistakes that I actually made running my own brand, so you can avoid some of these. Now look, I can almost guarantee that you are doing at least one of these, so listen up, this video is going to help you out a lot if you're running your own ecom brand. So let's get straight into it. The first thing, this is probably the stupidest mistake that I've ever made in e-commerce, but that is not paying for the right package for the profiles. Now, in my opinion, this is a little bit confusing. I always was under the impression that email marketing doesn't work. Well, I wasn't paying the right package. Okay, so how Klaviyo works, you've got to pay for a certain amount of profiles, not for the amount of emails that you send. Now, I was paying for the amount of profiles, yet the profiles on my list was more than what I was paying for. I thought it had just automatically upgraded. It didn't. Now, when that happens, what ends up going on is Klaviyo sends to a smaller percentage of your email list. So you can have all the best flows, all the best email campaigns going out, the top design, good copywriting, nice segmentation. But if you're not paying for the right package, the emails are not going to be sent to the customers. So this is first and foremost. Now, we looked on a brand recently that had this same issue, and wow, they instantly jumped up $5,000 in a month. In a month. They had all the emails set up, right? They were already sending the emails, campaigns. They increased the campaign send a little bit, but all the flows were already built out, but they just weren't on the right package. That is the first and foremost. You've just got to make sure everything's in working order. So what you'll find is, your emails should be earning a lot more money than they are, just that you're not on the right package. The second thing is, I didn't have enough volume of emails going out. Now, this means the flows and the campaigns. So the campaigns, the general rule of thumb is you need 3 to 4 emails. Now, people think, oh, well, what if my customer's getting 3 to 4 emails? Aren't they going to be annoyed by that? But what you've got to think is, you're segmenting those customers, right? So if you're sending to specific segments, the same customer is not going to receive 4 emails in a single week. So really, it's not that much. And plus, you have to try and build this reputation to where that you're a known person in their inbox or a known brand. You've got to try and be on top of mind. That's the main thing with the email frequency. It's not about that exact email converting that exact customer, but it's about building your reputation and getting that customer actually excited to see your email. Maybe not so excited, like, guys, it's emails at the end of the day. They're not going to be falling off the chair in excitement because you've sent an email to them, are they? But you staying on top of mind is going to do a lot for your brand. So that's why you want the frequency going out. Because if they've signed up to 5 fashion brands, right, and they've gone in this window shopping mode. Now, guys, people might be shopping for a holiday. They've got a holiday in 6 months. They might be just thinking about it 6 months previously, right? But in 3 months' time, if you've been on top of mind and you've been the brand that's sending them the most emails, you're going to be the one that gets the sale, right? That's how the email marketing works. So the frequency. The other volume of emails is also adding extra flows to your emails. So you want to be getting extra flows on, man. Don't get bothered about sending the customers too many emails. If you've got a welcome flow or an abandoned checkout, I hit them motherfuckers up with emails. Yeah, I hit them with so many emails. Tastefully, right? You've just got to make sure that the emails have a different reasoning, right? But include extra emails in your flows. That is the automation, and that is going to be the highest leverage form of marketing that you can do in e-commerce. So add emails to the flows. Guys, if these people have been on your website and they've shown some interest, they've added to the cart, they've signed up to the email list, They want to get your emails. They like your brand. They like your product. If they didn't, they wouldn't have been in the checkout and they wouldn't have signed up to the emails. And if they don't like it, they can just unsubscribe, right? If they don't want to receive your emails, you don't want to be sending them anyway. So send more emails. Increase the volume massively. You will see a massive rise in your ad spend. And trust me, over a year, this one little extra email that you've added onto the end of the flow, it will do thousands in revenue, and you'll think, why would I never put that on? It's cost me nothing. I've done nothing extra work for it, and you set it up once and it's making you money forever. So it's really important. Now, the third thing is having a high performing pop-up flow. Now, I used to just think my flow is stuck at 2%, 3%, and I used to just make changes and changes and changes. It would never change. I thought that was it. I thought I was doomed to a low sign up frequency and that was it. Well, change your offer, change the design and test these things, because ultimately the pop-up form is the door to your entire retention marketing ecosystem. Retention marketing should be doing 40% of your sales. So almost 50% of your sales is coming from email. Now, the door to your entire email ecosystem, if that was doing 50%, 40% of your sales, then that should have some priority, right? That is how important that pop-up form is. So test the pop-up form. You want to be hitting the 5%, 6% range. That's what you always want. And you want to be testing to optimize this. Do not just look at that little box that pops up and think nothing of it. This is one of the most important part of your email sequences and your entire ecosystem, right? Because the more people that you get on your list, the more people that you can market to, and you're marketing these people at next to no cost. So this is a really efficient way of marketing, and it's actually going to make your overall customer acquisition costs a lot cheaper. And you want people on your email list because you can send them emails as much as you want. The fourth and final thing is personalize your emails. I didn't used to personalize my emails. My emails were very salesy. Buy this, buy this, buy this. Well, guys, look, you want to try and create a connection where you can. And look, they're not going to look at you like a family member because you're sending emails. Yeah, me and you both know this, okay? But try and build a little bit of a relationship. Use the first name, create a certain style, add a bit of personalization to the brand. Maybe send a few emails that are a plain text email from the owner thanking them for the order. These little extra things are going to go a long way, because what you have to realize is, if you're a small independent business owner like us, we've got to try and stand out against Amazon. We've got to try and stand out against these big brands. So you've got to look for the little pockets that you can stand out. And when you focus on them, they're the highest leverage things that you can do. So add a bit of personalization, get creative with it. When you do all those things, that is the highest leverage thing that you can do for your email marketing. Yeah, the optimizations are great. All the advanced stuff is amazing, but if you do not have these basics down to a T, you will not be seeing anywhere near the revenue you are meant to be seeing. So look, there's a video coming up right about here. Take a watch after this one. By the way, guys, subscribe to the channel for email source.